Hi, teachers. I want to show you how to use prerequisites and requirements in Canvas modules. The first thing that we need to do is to talk about prerequisites. Prerequisites are that a person must complete a module before they move to the next module. So in this particular case, you'll notice that I have my course orientation module within the class, and then I have my test module right here below it. The teacher information you can ignore for now. What I want to do here is to make the course orientation a prerequisite of the test model. So, in other words, a student must go through that course orientation before they move on to anything in the class. You may find this useful for your class so that you make sure that your students read your syllabus as well as any other requirements that you may have for your course. So, I'm going to start here by clicking on Edit, and then I'm going to add a prerequisite here. So once I click on a prerequisite, then it's going to ask me to select the module, and then I can click on course orientation. And now the course orientation is going to be a prerequisite of the test module. So a student cannot get to this module until they've completed the course orientation module. The second thing that we're going to talk about are requirements. And requirements have to do with the module itself. So if I click on the little side arrow right here, you'll notice that I have three items within the test module: the required reading, the quiz, and then the summary. So I'm going to click on the three dot menu over here on the right, and we're going to go ahead and click Edit. And now what we're going to do is we're going to click on this here that says Add Requirements. Now, these requirements, there are a couple of things in here. First of all, we can actually structure the course so that the students must complete all of the requirements and they must move through the requirements in sequential order. That will keep students from getting ahead, completing things out of turn, especially when you're trying to scaffold a module and scaffold to build certain skills. The next thing is that students must complete one of the requirements. So anyway, I can actually go ahead and I can add requirements on here. But the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to click that they must do the required reading. So in this particular case, we would just view the item. If we wanted to do a little self-check right there, we could hit mark as done, but I want them to view it. Once they go to the bottom and they click next, then it will go ahead and give them credit for actually viewing the item. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a quiz to this. And the best part about this is that I can make sure that the students score at least a certain amount on the quiz. Notice that the quiz is only 1 point, so I'm going to make sure that they score at least a 1 out of 1 on the quiz. If they do not, then they will have to go back and redo the quiz. One thing about this is that your quiz must have unlimited submissions or unlimited attempts in order to get past this, or the student must basically at least score that amount on the quiz in order to move forward. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is to add another requirement, and then we're going to add the summary here. Now, the summary is a submission that students can send in via either text. They can either, submit a Google Doc. They can submit a PDF. But here's the thing: that actually must be scored at least a 90 out of 100. Now, remember that this could be something that you grade via Speed Grader, and if that's the case, then you have to go in, you have to give the assignment a grade, and then and then if the student scored above a 90, then they would be able to move on to the next item. However, if they don't score at least a 90, then the assignment gets kicked back to them. They can continue to work on that. They can resubmit the assignment, especially, and you must do unlimited submissions. And then once they have reached that 90% threshold, then you can allow them, they will be allowed to move on to the next item. So if I go ahead and click on Update Module, we will go ahead and it says, would you like to let the students continue in the course, or do you want to relock these modules until the new requirements are completed? We'll go ahead and we'll just click on Relock Modules. And now you will notice that we have a prerequisite of the course orientation module. We also have complete all items here. And those items now have requirements for them to move on to the next item. So if I go over here and as a student, we'll go ahead and we'll click on the home right here and we'll do a refresh here. I want to make sure that we're getting all the settings that we're supposed to have. We'll jump over to modules, and now we have we must complete this course orientation. If the students have not completed that before, I think it will go ahead and allow me to access all of these items. But you'll notice here that when I do required reading, I'm going to read the Latin text here, then I'm going to click on next. Now the correct answers are hidden. I've already taken this quiz, so that's going to allow me to move on forward. If I had not taken the quiz, then you can go ahead and take the quiz. Then it would allow you to click on the next button. Of course, I'm sure you love my question right there. That's the name of my cat, not the name of any of my children. We'll go ahead and we'll click on next, and then we would submit that summary. This has already been submitted by me, so this is complete. So anyway, this is a so this is the way that you use both prerequisites and you use module requirements. This is very helpful for those of you who are trying to scaffold and are trying to build skills and want to make sure that the students have a level of mastery before they move on to the next step. There is another piece to this that we may introduce to some of you who are interested that are called mastery paths. And basically, mastery paths require students to score a certain level on an assignment. And if they do not, then they can actually be sent through a remedial path, which then allows them to work on the skills that are necessary in order to get those get that assignment done and to do it at a level of proficiency that you prescribe. Thank you for watching.